No sun, too much sun. So everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping healthy and safe at home. In today's video, we're going to be talking about lighting and the importance of it. I don't know anything about that, so I'm going to get on a Zoom call with our assistant producer Ryan, where he'll tell us all about lighting and give us one tip on how to get the best lighting at home without any professional equipment. Because I don't have any. All I've got is this massive window in front of me, so let's get on the call with him. Too much lighting.
What's happening?
Hi. All right, well, thank you for doing this. I think I don't have a good window angle. What tips would you give me on how to get the best lighting with this kind of dodgy sun keeps going in and out and stuff? And I don't have any professional equipment with me either.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. When you're recording video at home, not everybody's going to have professional lighting. So you have to make the most of what natural light is available. I think the important thing to remember is that you're probably going to be using your smartphone or your webcam. And these have very small sensors, which are not the best at gathering the most amount of light. It's basically why your smartphone looks great during the day, in daytime photos, and rubbish at nighttime. So you want to try and get the most amount of light on your face. The best way to do this is to be towards a north or west facing window. This will give you the most even, natural, consistent light throughout the day. A southern facing window will be bright, but you'll get more sunshine, and as the sun's moving in and out behind clouds, it'll not be consistent. So definitely a north or west facing window would be my best tip for getting a nice, bright, even, natural light throughout your day and throughout your recording.
I don't know what window I have. I don't know if it's north or west or east or whatever. I can't tell. It's just the fact that it keeps going in and out, so I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Could be an eastern or southern facing window if you're getting kind of the sun flickering in and out. There are things you can do to kind of help with that. If you have a net curtain or some sort of, I think in the industry it's called a scrim, some kind of mesh or some kind of fabric even that you can put in front of your window just to kind of soften the light and even it out. That'll make a big difference as well if you are stuck with a particular window.
This last question is then, why do you think it's super important for everyone to have good lighting?
You want to create the best impression, especially if you're speaking to business contacts or even students through a school setting. And so you want to, present a professional appearance as you would in any kind of meeting in person. In a personal meeting, you would wear a suit, you would be polite, all those kind of things. And while you want to do that in a video setting, you also want your appearance to be professional as well. So that was Ryan and his tips on lighting and the importance of it. I found it very useful. I have realized that I have a south or east facing window, which means I have to adjust my lighting all the time, maybe get a mesh curtain up somewhere. So I'm gonna take on board what he says, and I hope you found everything that he said useful as well and learn something from it about lighting and why you should, fix it. That was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it quite insightful. If you want to see any other content, please let me know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or share, subscribe, whatever. And that is it from me. I hope you guys are keeping healthy and well. We're gonna get through this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cut.